It's true. Black folks have a business for everything you need, want, or could imagine. So let's show some love to all local and national Black-owned businesses, because when you spend money with a Black-owned business, you are helping your community as well as helping yourself. The businesses for this week are Fuddruckers Chinatown, D.C. Fuddruckers.com/Chinatown, D.C. Hands of a Goddess. Luxury mobile massage. Get GoddessHands.com. Adorned by Siriboa. Ghanaian beads and bracelets. Siriboa.com.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C. 95.9 W240DJ, WMMJ HD3, WDCJ FM HD3, and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The following program is paid for by Barbara Arnwine.
It's time now for Igniting Change, a weekly provocative and empowering program where you, the listener, can ignite change. Now here's your host, Barbara Arnwine.
Get up, stand up.
Good afternoon, everyone here on this mighty East Coast. Welcome to Igniting Change to those of you in the Midwest. I just spent some time in that great West Coast. You know, we got something to say about what's going on in this country, especially in Los Angeles. Oh, my goodness. And to all of you in the South, the mighty South, good afternoon, good morning, because I loved hanging out with everybody in New Orleans this last weekend. So there is just so much going on, and it is our country, our country. That's our whole point of this show, that this is our nation, it belongs to the people, not to a bunch of billionaires, a bunch of racists, a bunch of power-hungry, want-to-be kings people. No, it belongs to us, the people. So it is my joy to introduce to this show, I love to call upon my co-host, none other than the mighty leader of the Transformative Justice Coalition's board of directors. I'm talking about one of the boldest, most strategic lawyers in America. I'm talking about the creator of the voter caves, the creator of the John Lewis bus, and all of the amazing work that he's made happen. I'm talking about none other than Daryl D. Jones, Esquire. Hey, Daryl. Daryl? Okay.
Yep, I'm here now. I can hear now.
There he goes. Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, and I can hear everybody. Hello. It's welcome to be amongst living here at Igniting Change, Barbara.
Yes. Well, we got a lot to talk about, people. There's a lot going on in this country. First of all, we want to talk about, our heroes and sheroes of the week, and we got some. Before we get to our heroes and sheroes of the week, I just want to let you know that the topic of today's show is June 14th. Stand up to tyranny. No kings. July 17th. Make more good trouble. Folks, it is time for activism. It is time for your voice to be heard. Get in these streets, because if we don't make our voices heard, there will be a time when they won't be able to be heard, where they will have silenced all of us. It's incredibly important that we not deny the moment we are in history. We're fighting for the soul of this nation. We're fighting to make sure that democracy has any chance of continuing to breathe. All of us have spent our lives, some of us, like me, trying to perfect this democracy. We know it's not expensive enough. We know it's not representative enough. We know big money has way too much influence. But now we have people who don't even want us to vote, sitting in office, trying to squash and destroy millions of people's rights to vote. Folks, And if you're thinking it's just people of color that they're targeting, you've got another thought coming, because they are targeting women of all races. They're targeting young people of all races. They're targeting young women. They're targeting all of us, because the America that they envision with their desire to have a corporate monarchy, their desire is absolutely contrary to every principle of for the people, by the people. Daryl, this is a tremendous time. So we say stand up this Saturday to tyranny. We say no kings. We mean it. And when we talk about not having your activism only be a one-day thing, it's critical that you are not only going to participate this Saturday, but look forward to July 17th and all the intervening events in there. And don't forget, every day we say what, Daryl? We say you got to call that switchboard, 202-224-3121. That's the Congressional Switchboard, 202-224-3121. And say to your senators, no, vote no on the SAVE Act, which would destroy the right to vote for over 21 million people. You heard me, 21 million people. Say no to this so-called Big Ugly. We're calling it the Big Ugly bill because there's nothing beautiful about it at all, because it would destroy lives and destroy people's rights to medical benefits all over the country, killing people, which seems to be an obsession with some of these folks. Folks, it is imperative that you say, that you raise your voice, because they do count those calls. They do listen and record those calls. Make sure that you say vote no. Use your power of your fingers. Use the power of your voice. You don't have to be rich to fight injustice. You just have to be determined and courageous. Right, Daryl?
Absolutely, Barbara. And as you stated a little earlier, June 14th is just one day. This is not a one-off. You don't stand up one day, then sit down the balance of the time. When you make that commitment to stand up to racism, to stand up to sexism, to stand up to fascism, you're making a commitment to stand in it every day, to wake up, go to bed, fighting this stuff, being certain that it doesn't rear its ugly head. And when it rears its ugly head, you push it back down again. That's what this is about. If you haven't made that commitment yet, make that commitment on June the 14th. Come out, and we have a wonderful guest who's going to talk about it, but you need to come out and get involved. One of the taglines that's part of Igniting Change, Barbara, is we say get off the sidewalks and get into the street, because there's a time when you're on the sidewalk where you can watch things that are happening in the community. You can watch things that are happening to your family. You can watch things that are happening to you, or you can get into the street and you can be a part of stopping those things, those negative things from happening. So we ask that you make that commitment to stopping racism, sexism, fascism, and get into the streets on June the 14th with our friends that are going to be out there all over the country fighting this tyrannical regime that's pushing through all of these just really fascist policies and trying to dishearten the spirit of Americans all over this country, Barbara.
Right. And our guests are going to be joining us at 12:15. But let us, make sure that you know how much we appreciate everything you've been doing out there. And I talk about you, the listener, who is listening to this show, and all your friends and family. Thank you for what you've done with the, refusing to shop at these stores that have been killing DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, the opportunity for people of color and women and others who are excluded from our society, including those with disabilities, to have a fair working place that's non-discriminatory, how they've been trying to destroy our rights to be promoted to be heads of stores and all these other things. So those of you who have been part of the No DEI, No Buy campaign, thank you, because Target is suffering. You know, right now the pressure is still on Target. The pressure is still on. It's now on Dollar General. We want people to know that there's a whole list of bad corporations in our mind, bad companies that have had the nerve to say no to DEI, and it's just a factual list of who they are. You can go to tjcoalition.org, tjcoalition.org, and look up that list and share it. Make sure that everybody you know who's doing the wrong in this society. And only, while we're, quote, boycotting, people say, folks are talking about boycotting, meaning that there are stores that you ought to be shopping at because they're doing the right thing. And that list is also there. So we want you to go to tjcoalition.org and see that list. While you're there, sign the voting rights pledge. Because we've had hundreds of people sign it. Make sure you sign it. And that's a badge of honor. Take that pledge, print it out, put it on your wall, and show off to people that you are there in this struggle, that you understand what needs to be done in this moment. And Daryl, let's talk about our heroes and sheroes, and let's talk about these villains out here. I just talked about some of them, which are these companies that have had the nerve to turn their back on racial equality and gender equality and equality for people with disabilities. But let's also, let's talk about the hero for me of this week, Daryl, is David Herta. He is the chair of the labor groups in the state of California, a member of the SEIU union. And when he heard that there was a raid taking place, he went there to confront the police, to ask them where were their warrants, the usual things that we do. Where are your warrants? Why are you here? Why are you arresting these people? What's going to happen to these children if you take their parents away? What's going to happen to the parents if you take the children away? What are you doing? And what did they do, Daryl? What did they do to that man when he asked those questions?
Not only did they arrest him, Barbara, but they ended up really beating him badly and ended up being hospitalized. So it's just incredible what has gone on as he stood up for the rights of those individuals, and he was just asking questions and trying to protect those folks. So he certainly is deserving of being one of the heroes of the week, of putting himself out there to stand up and to fight back and show what courage really looks like. And that fight continues. So certainly hats off and bells ringing for David Huerta.
Yes, and we believe in peaceful protests, and we're glad that people in Los Angeles are peacefully protesting. Some folks did some, quote, vandalism. You guys know what the vandalism was, right? I mean, you keep seeing this one car, burning over and over and over again. But what really what they're really complaining about when they're talking about, quote, all this violence and vandalism, they're talking about graffiti. They're mad that people were, drawing their graphics and their, it's graffiti. Since when do you pull out military forces to stop people from engaging in graffiti? Are you kidding me? I traveled the world, and there is no city I've ever stepped my foot in that didn't have some graffiti. Are you kidding me that you're going to bring in armed Marines and thousands of troops that you don't even have beds for? You got them sleeping on the ground because you are so anxious to try to show that you're the big bad man. We aren't playing this game. People, we're standing up for the people. Thank you, David Herta. And if we had not protested, they're arresting him, he would not have been released yesterday, folks. He's out of jail now. After what?